Let's go! Power Hour SEC previewing the Week 2 matchups. Give me your absolute best lock of the week in the comment section down below. And I've got to share something that has been on my mind all this week. I'm tired of people hyping up this Alabama versus Texas matchup when we all know Nick Saban is about to bludgeon the Longhorns. And I'm going to go ahead and give you my favorite play. I know you're supposed to save it for the end. I'm going to give you a few more here, but Alabama in the first half. Love that line, and I know that's kind of a juicy number to swallow there, but still, I love it. Alabama minus 20 overall versus Texas. I just don't think Quinn Ewers is any good, and as much as I like Bijan Robinson, it's all the other things that are going to be issues for the Longhorns. So go ahead and swallow those numbers, and Alabama will roll this Saturday. But that is the thing, right? We are focusing so much on this game when there is a bevy of really interesting matchups. And what makes it even more fascinating is none of these are like your normal SEC traditional battles that you're accustomed to seeing and being excited about. These are some very obscure games. And I think even out of the 11 a.m. slate games, I think Texas and Alabama is the least compelling one. I am really looking forward to see if Missouri is going to cover versus Kansas State. And I know it's not the same brand matchup as that other one, but still, I kind of like Missouri to cover that 8.5. And then obviously South Carolina, Arkansas, and kind of the darlings of the SEC, Vanderbilt, if they find a way to beat Wake Forest and cover, well, not necessarily cover, they have to win outright. If you would have bet Vanderbilt and the over 2.5 win total, you would have already been there. So if you're a Vanderbilt bettor, you just need one more win for your preseason win total. But outside of those 11 a.m. games, there are some really fascinating matchups that I'm going to give you a few plays for this week. I know that number looks really big in that Tennessee versus Pittsburgh matchup, but going ahead and swallow the points there. This is a Tennessee team that I'm just very high on, higher than most. Now, I did pick them to win the East after seeing Georgia this past weekend versus Oregon. I feel as if that bold prediction will not come to fruition, but still, I'm going to stick by that, and I think Tennessee gets it done versus Pittsburgh, who, quite frankly, was very lucky in their Week 1 win over West Virginia. So, as far as the rest of these matchups are concerned, the one that obviously really, really stands out is LSU versus Southern. Kidding. But that is a big weekend. I know a lot of you are PHL, my darling channel, Power Hour LSU. Shout out to all my PHL viewers. I know it's a big weekend for us historically in Baton Rouge, knowing the history with Southern and LSU. So obviously that will be interesting. But Southern does actually have a good pass rush, and judging by the way LSU's offensive line played last week, that is going to be a matchup to keep an eye out for, but LSU should be able to roll Southern. But honestly, the matchup here is Kentucky versus Florida, and you have two future first-round quarterbacks in this matchup, or at the very least two potential first-round quarterbacks, and Will Levis and Anthony Richardson going head-to-head. Now, the reason why this matchup is so fascinating to me is the quarterbacks in this one have the same near identical scouting report for their NFL draft futures. Really athletic gunslinger quarterbacks with an amazing arm, but isn't really known for their throwing. However, as dual threat prospects, they are amazing. Boom! I'm looking at you. Yes, you right now. Okay, so I'm going to give you something that's very important when it comes to looking at matchups, okay? And I hope you've already liked and subscribed to this channel. And feel free to roast me in the comments as long as you remain civil. At first, when I saw this, I was like, okay, two experienced quarterbacks that are looking to put on a show and show NFL teams why they should spend first-round draft capital and allow them to be their franchise quarterbacks of the future. And I was like, okay, a traditional lower-scoring matchup this year is actually going to be a little bit higher scoring. But there is the weather factor here. It could get a little nasty in the swamp. So, because of that, I am not so gung ho about the over as I first was. So, I'm actually just going to take Kentucky and the points in the spot. I am not in love with this. I do think Florida has a better roster. I do think their skill guys are better offensively, especially considering Kentucky does not have Chris Rodriguez. And this could be the first matchup where them not having Wan'Dale Robinson can really show its ugly head. So I do like Florida winning this, but Kentucky and the points is the side that I prefer. Now, my favorite absolute gung-ho fire play of the week, I've already given it to you, Alabama versus Texas. But I'm going to give you one more here, and that is South Carolina covering 9 points versus Arkansas. I do think the Razorbacks are better. I don't love South Carolina's roster overall, but I do think this game could get a little clunky, and I think South Carolina will cover. I still like Arkansas to win the game. I am a little shocked to see it at 9, so I will go with the Gamecocks covering that point spread. Now, in the comment section below, let me know what you think. Look, I got a lot of heat for my Arkansas video last Friday, including someone saying, hey, why don't you go coach for $1 million, Mr. Know-It-All, or something like that. But look, I actually like the Razorbacks. I gave you -6.5, and they covered by the hair on their chinny chin. So, look, I have nothing against Arkansas. I grew up in Arkansas. Look, I'm going against the Hogs, though, and I think Shane Beamer finds a way to keep it close. But hashtag WPS. Your favorite play of the week? Once again, I like Kentucky covering. I like South Carolina covering. I like Tennessee covering that 6. I like Alabama in the first half. Not really on fire about any of the over-unders in this weekend slate, so let me know down below if you have any plays that you have, okay? It is Power Hour SEC. Boom! Oh, yeah, Missouri plus 8.5. Why not? And tonight, we're doing deep dish pizza round 2. Let's go! Oh, yeah, we didn't. I'm even wearing some maroon here, like maroon purplish. Why not? Appalachian covering versus Texas A&M. Let's go, Mountaineers. Let's go.